Ready to dive into something interesting. We're tackling this idea, it's a bit counterintuitive, that looking poor is important. Like, do you really need to look rich to get rich? Because let's be honest, there's a lot of pressure out there to spend money just to appear successful.
It's everywhere you look, isn't it?
Hmm.
This article really digs into that challenges those assumptions we've come to accept.
It really made me think, like, imagine a millionaire for a second. What pops into your head? I bet they're driving something fancy.
Probably decked out in designer,
Yeah.
everything, right? Big mansion, too.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. This article points out that a lot of really wealthy people, they live pretty modestly. You'd never guess they had millions.
So it's almost like we're told to do the opposite. Buy the expensive stuff, look the part, and somehow success will follow. But this article says that kind of thinking can actually hurt your chances of building wealth.
Distracts you from what matters. Instead of putting your money into things that gain value, you're spending it on things that lose value the second you buy them, paying for the image of wealth, not the actual wealth itself.
It's like that saying, don't be house poor, where people buy a house they can't afford and then their whole life is about making that mortgage payment.
Exactly. It's understanding the difference between things that cost you money, liabilities, and things that make you money, assets. Big house, fancy car, those are liabilities. Building wealth means getting assets.
So how does this looking poor idea actually work in the real world? Are we talking about becoming extreme minimalists here?
Not necessarily. It's more about being thoughtful about what you spend. Recognizing those sneaky ways we're convinced to spend money we might not even need to. Take luxury brands, for example.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Those designer bags, the watches, the shoes, they just scream success.
Yeah.
Hard to resist that.
They're masters of marketing, I'll give them that. They make you want that lifestyle. But here's the catch. A lot of times, you're paying a huge markup just for the logo. The quality isn't always better.
So we're buying an image, not just a product. Like owning that thing will magically make us more successful.
Exactly. This article is all about becoming a smarter consumer. Before you buy, ask yourself, do I actually want this, or am I just trying to show off?
That's a great question to ask. Now, speaking of pressure, how do we resist that keeping up with the Joneses mentality? It's so easy to see everyone else with the latest gadgets and vacations and feel like you're falling behind.
Oh, it's natural to compare ourselves.
Yeah.
Social media just throws gasoline on that fire.
Yeah.
But this article makes a great point. You never know the full story. Someone might look super successful online, but behind the scenes, they're drowning in debt to keep up that image.
Instagram versus reality, right?
Exactly. That's why you have to define success for yourself. What does a good life look like to you? It might be totally different from what you see online or what everyone else is doing. And that's okay.
More than okay. That's kind of the whole point of this looking poor thing, isn't it?
For sure. It's about focusing on your own values and goals and building a life that reflects that, not what society tells you to do.
And that might mean making different choices from your friends and neighbors. Maybe drive a used car, live in a smaller place, skip the fancy dinners out. But that's all right.
It is. Because when you break free from those expectations, spending money, you don't need to impress people. You don't even know it unlocks a level of freedom most people can only dream of.
It's about having the security to chase your passions, spend quality time with people you love, and handle whatever life throws at you, all without that financial stress. That's true wealth, if you ask me.
Couldn't agree more. It starts by understanding that looking wealthy and being wealthy, they're two different things.
So how do we shift gears then? How do we go from chasing that image to building something more sustainable, more meaningful?
Well, one of the big things this article talks about is reframing the idea of frugality.
Frugality. It's one of those words, right? Like, it almost sounds kind of like you're depriving yourself. But this article, it doesn't frame it like that at all.
Definitely not. It's not about having less. It's about aligning your spending with what you really care about. Kind of freeing yourself from that constant pressure to upgrade, always chasing the next big thing.
You say that, and I was just thinking, how many times do we buy something just because it's on sale, not because we actually need it? Is that like the opposite of being frugal?
Could be. It's so easy to fall for a bargain. It's such a good deal. But true frugality, it's being intentional about every purchase, even the small ones. Like, ask yourself, would I buy this if it wasn't on sale? If not, maybe that money's better off saved for something you actually want.
Makes you think twice, huh? We think we're saving money, but really we're just spending it on things we wouldn't even want otherwise.
Exactly. It's about being aware of those spending habits,
Yeah.
making sure they're taking you where you want to go.
Yeah.
And this article, it brings up lifestyle inflation. That's a sneaky one.
Lifestyle inflation. Okay, that doesn't sound good. Break that down for me.
So basically, your income goes up, And suddenly, you need a bigger apartment, a nicer car, fancier clothes. Your spending just naturally grows to match.
Oh, yeah. I've totally been there. You get used to a certain lifestyle, and it's hard to resist upgrading when you have a little extra money.
Totally. But the trick is to catch yourself doing it. Do you actually need that upgrade, or is it just keeping up with, I don't know, some imaginary standard?
There's a story in the article, right, about someone who managed to avoid that whole trap. They saved up early on, which gave them the freedom to, like, chase their dreams instead.
Exactly. They built a successful real estate career and pursued their passion for making YouTube videos, all because they weren't stressing about keeping up a certain lifestyle. They had the financial freedom to do both.
That's really inspiring, to be honest. It shows how frugality, it's not about having less, it's about having more of what matters. More freedom, more flexibility.
It really is. And that ties into another thing this article emphasizes: the value of experiences, not just possessions.
That's something I've been trying to be more aware of in my own life. Spending money on experiences, making memories, instead of just accumulating stuff.
What kind of experiences have you been into lately?
Travel, for sure. I still think about this trip I took a while back, hiking through the Scottish Highlands. It was incredible. The scenery, the whole atmosphere, just magical.
Oh, wow. I bet those memories are something you'll always cherish.
Totally. And it really drove home the point where those experiences, they stay with you in a way that buying, a new phone or a pair of shoes just never could.
Absolutely. Experiences become part of your story, something you carry with you. The joy of a new gadget that fades so quickly.
It's like that saying, collect moments, not things. This article is all about that shift in thinking.
And that shift, it can be liberating. It gets you off that treadmill of wanting more, buying more, but never really feeling satisfied.
Because there's always going to be something newer, something better to buy, right?
Yeah.
It never ends.
Exactly. But when you focus on experiences, relationships, that's where the real abundance is. The joy, the connection. You can't put a price tag on that.
It's about investing in your life, in what truly matters, which is a powerful message, especially when we're constantly told our worth is tied to what we own.
Right. It's easy to forget that in our stuff-obsessed world. But when you strip all that away, what are you left with? The memories, the connections, the experiences that shaped who you are? That's what truly makes a life rich.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It really makes you think, about what we truly value. I mean, I can remember trips I've taken, like, so clearly, but good luck getting me to remember what I bought a few months ago.
It's like our brains are wired to hold on to those experiences, those moments. Material things fade, but those memories, they stick with you.
They become part of who you are, right? Not just something you own.
Exactly. And when you start prioritizing those experiences, your relationships, it changes everything. It makes for a much richer life, I think.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, this idea of looking poor as a path to wealth, what's the one thing you hope listeners really take to heart?
I'd say it's this: define success for yourself. Don't let society tell you what good life should look like, what matters to you, what are your values. Start there.
It's about tuning out the noise, right? All those external pressures and focusing on what truly resonates with you.
Exactly. True wealth isn't about keeping up appearances, trying to impress everyone else. It's about having the freedom to live on your own terms, without that constant financial pressure.
It's about finding joy in the everyday moments, investing in experiences, building those real connections with people. And hey, sometimes that means making choices that might seem a little unconventional, even if it means, looking poor by some people's standards.
But those choices, they can lead to a much more fulfilling life. A life that's rich in what truly matters.
So it's about aligning your spending with your values, right?
Yeah.
Choosing experiences, not just possessions. Finding contentment in what you already have.
Absolutely. It's about seeing frugality as a way to unlock freedom, not a way to limit yourself.
It's realizing that true wealth isn't about how much money you have in the bank, but about the richness of your experiences, your relationships, your life as a whole.
So, as you go about your day today, just pay attention to the messages you're getting about money, about success. Do they line up with what you believe in? Do they inspire you to live a more intentional, fulfilling life?
If not, maybe it's time to redefine what success means to you, to start building a life that truly reflects what you value. Because remember, true wealth isn't about having everything you want, it's about wanting what you have. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time.